present and sponsor this event, and we've done it for the last couple of years. But I also want to thank so many other sponsors that are here today, and also you will find those recognized in your program action tables. I also want to give a special word of thanks to the Achieving Dreams Steering Committee. Those individuals were especially impactful to build this room today and to get the sponsorships that help drive work with Avivo on an ongoing basis. So let's talk about Avivo just for a second. Avivo has been serving the needs of our people in our community for over 60 years now. They work to provide education, to end homelessness, to prepare people for employment and success, and to support recovery and mental health. Avivo provides the opportunity for nearly 13,000 people every year to transition out of homelessness into housing, to find treatment, to find recovery support, to help with mental health services and career training. That's the impact, and I think that's what draws so many of us here, the volume of people and serving the needs that are so critical to so many in our community. Last year alone, because of Avivo's work, nearly 1,500 people found employment, 1,000 got public assistance, and nearly 900 people experiencing homelessness found housing and supports in order to sustain that housing. Every day, Avivo brings its vision of communities free of health and economic inequities into closer view. So today, we will hear from one of my favorite people, Kelly Madden, the CEO of Avivo. We get to celebrate the recipient of Avivo's 2022 Celebrated Community Leader Award. We will hear from an Avivo client and a business partner, and we will have the opportunity to financially support the work of Avivo. So with that, let's get started with an introduction of Jonathan Weinhagen, who is the President and CEO of the Minneapolis Regional Chamber. Jonathan.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Jeanne. Welcome to the 2022 Avivo Achieving Dreams Breakfast. How great is it to be back together in person? I am Jonathan Weinhagen, President and CEO of the Minneapolis Regional Chamber. Absolutely thrilled to be here with all of you today. I spent my entire career believing that there's nothing more important, and there's never been a more important time than right now to address the workforce crisis. As we emerge from a global pandemic, as we face unprecedented low unemployment, the lowest in the nation, that has never been more true. Our business community knows the future of our regional economy requires an all-of-the-above approach to addressing critical issues like homelessness, mental health, and our workforce. And Avivo is and has been a critical part of that strategy for so many years. Now, I know that we're all a little bit out of practice when it comes to these breakfasts. After all, the last couple of years we sat at our kitchen tables, we had a cup of coffee, we fired up the Zoom. I don't know about you, but I contemplated wearing pajama pants this morning. Defaulted to jeans. But I think we all know what we're here to do today, and that's to learn about, support, and invest in the future of this great work. So, as you learn about the great work that Avivo has done and continues to do, as you hear the impact stories throughout the morning, I want you to ask yourselves, what more can I do? What more can my company do? What more can we all do together as a collective community to support and invest in this work? And as you think about that, think about it as if the lives of individuals and the future of our region depends on it, because it does. Now, I'm told that I'm the only thing standing between all of you folks and maybe some bacon, so I was told to keep this brief. With that, again, I want to welcome you. I want to thank you for being here. I want to ask you to enjoy the breakfast during the program. Thank you.
So welcome. I'm so glad all of you are here, like Avivo is here. That phrase is a simple way to understand the hard and important work that Avivo does. At Avivo, we work to end homelessness. We provide education and training. We support recovery and mental health, and we prepare people for employment and success. We know that Avivo is the only organization that brings together the continuum of services that we do that are designed specifically to produce life-changing, transformational results, and it is working. This past year for Avivo and all of us has been exciting and challenging all at the same time. Our work was a challenge before the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd. And even though the pandemic is fading and Lake Street rebuilds, the individuals we serve continue to feel the heavy burden of living outside, the grip of addiction, and the constant and heavy weight of poverty. I am proud to say that through it all, Avivo was, is, and will be here for our community. Jeanne shared a few numbers that summarize the impact Avivo is having with thousands of Minnesotans each and every year. And I want to take just a few moments to highlight some specifics about our workforce development programming. Every year, we serve about 9,000 adults that are working to move from public assistance or from welfare to work. We just found out that we were awarded the sole contract to be the provider in Sherburne County. And with services in St. Cloud and services in Dakota, Hennepin, and Ramsey County, this is going to be a continuum of services from the Metro to St. Cloud to help more families move from public assistance or from welfare to work. Recently, we were reminded just how important these services were. We had a celebration last week to celebrate over 100 people moved from Avivo Village into permanent housing. And while we were searching for a caterer, we found a Black-owned, women-owned business, Bag Lady Kitchen Deli. The owner had been operating a food truck for some time, and she had recently just opened her own restaurant space. And as we were working out the details, she asked, "Are you the Avivo in St. Paul?" And when we inquired further, and why, she shared that she had had an employment counselor from Avivo while she was on welfare. And she was thrilled to be giving back and to support people that were changing their lives through the work that Avivo offers. Now she owns her own growing business and was elated to partner with us, and we were proud to play a very small role in her success. And by the way, her chili is absolutely amazing. Check it out. So please join me in congratulating the hardworking owner of Bag Lady Kitchen, Dion Lee. Dion, I believe you're here. Would you stand and let us recognize you? And those moments happen all the time at Avivo. Second, I want to talk a little bit, you heard about the Avivo Institute for Career and Technical Education, and we are expanding our programs at a time when employers need workers and need trained workers. In addition to our IT support, our medical office support, and our office support programming, we are adding careers in telecommunications and a brand new HVAC program in partnership with CenterPoint Energy. Our telecommunications program graduated its first graduates a couple weeks ago, and our first graduate moved into employment starting at $40 per hour. That is moving people from poverty. Next, I just want to mention a paid internship program sponsored by the Firefly Scientist Foundation that is preparing participants in the IT networking industry. This program is 100% philanthropically supported to give individuals a chance to practice their skills when they graduate from our training program. And I'm happy to share that you're going to meet a graduate of that training program and internship program, Charley, a little bit later in the program. And finally, I just want to say thanks to all of you for joining us this morning. Everything Avivo is able to accomplish is because of sponsors donors, and friends like all of you. And I especially want to take a minute to call attention to the amazing Achieving Dreams Breakfast Committee. Brian Murray, who is the CEO of Ryan Companies, Russ Becker, the CEO and President of API Group, Kathleen McClung, Vice President of Public Relations at Ameriprise and Avivo board member, Jason Bamer, Senior Vice President and Managing Director for U.S. Bank, Private Wealth Management, and Avivo board member. And finally, our absolutely amazing, generous, and inspiring committee chair, Jeanne Crain, the President and CEO of Bremer Bank. Their willingness to, yes, thank you. So that committee's willingness to twist a few arms that probably got some of you here this morning also helps fund much of Avivo's work in the weeks and months ahead. So on behalf of Avivo, our board of directors, and the thousands of Minnesotans we serve each year, I offer you our most sincere thanks. All right. Now we are going to celebrate part of what we're here for. This is our third year recognizing a celebrated community leader, and I have the honor of introducing this year's awardee. We are especially pleased this year to honor Terry Rasmussen, President and CEO of Thrivent. Thrivent is a Fortune 500 diversified financial services organization headquartered in Minneapolis. Thrivent provides advice, investments, insurance, banking, and generosity programs with solutions to help people make the most of all they've been given, and they give. As of December 31st, 2021, Thrivent had $189 billion in assets under management and advisement. As an executive leader at Thrivent for more than 17 years, Terry has been a driving force behind Thrivent's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, sparking change within the financial services organization in neighborhoods across the country. Avivo has seen Thrivent's work in action, receiving financial support for our workforce development programs dating as far back as 2004. We've had 12 years of Thrivent support through charitable giving, Thrivent volunteers that teach financial literacy in our classrooms, and a most recent commitment that they made is to Avivo's implementation of a nationally recognized economic mobility model called Empath, focused on helping families truly move out of poverty. They've made a $550,000 investment to support that important and innovative work. They also provided emergency funding, not just to Avivo, but to others, and specifically to our street outreach housing partnership with Red Lake Nation to move people living in the Hiawatha tent encampment into permanent housing. Terry Rasmussen has led throughout her career at Thrivent, making sure valuing diversity, equity, and inclusion is practiced inside and outside the organization. Under her leadership, Thrivent has been a true and valued partner in building a stronger community for us all. Terry Rasmussen is Avivo's 2022 Celebrated Community Leader. And while Terry is, thank you. While Terry is unable to join us this morning, she has become well-versed in dialing in through the pandemic, and she has recorded a beautiful message for all of you. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Twin Cities leaders and Avivo supporters. Thank you so much for this great honor. I wish I could be there with you in person today, but I'm out of the country on business. At Thrivent, I'm blessed to be in a position where I can help influence change. It doesn't always happen as fast as I want, but like many of you in the room here this morning, I'm committed as a leader to advancing diversity, equity, and inclusion, and addressing economic disparities in our community. Inside of Thrivent, I've tried to be a role model when it comes to hiring. When I led our legal group, I made it a habit to assemble a diverse slate of candidates for every open position. I'm continuing this practice as CEO, and I also expect it of my executive leaders. I also feel a responsibility to make a difference outside of Thrivent. Back in 2017, we redesigned our approach to philanthropy in our headquarters communities. Our goal is to invest in nonprofit partners focused on changing the odds for people historically shut out of economic and educational opportunities. Sound familiar? It's work Avivo does so well. So it won't surprise you that Thrivent has had a long-term partnership with Avivo. I'm especially proud of our support of Avivo's Empath program, focused on helping families move out of poverty. And it's more than just me and Thrivent's corporate responsibility team who are Avivo supporters. One of our financial advisors, Brad Markwell, has been speaking to Avivo clients regularly for the past 6 years, teaching the basics of budgeting and sharing his time and talent. At Thrivent, our purpose is to help people make the most of all they've been given, their time, talent, and treasure. And I try my best to make the most of all I've been given. And I've been given a lot. I'm a Minnesota farm girl who started out as a dental hygienist, got a degree in accounting, became a lawyer, and am now privileged to lead a purpose-based Fortune 500 company. So thanks again for the recognition. And as the celebrated community leader honoree, I celebrate each and every one of you for your support of Avivo and our wonderful Twin Cities community.
Wasn't that great? I would have loved to have her in person, but that video we can watch on days when we need a boost for sure. Oops. So while Terry could not be here, we are pleased to sorry, I'm not rolling with it very well, am I? Please welcome Jeanne, the VP of Enterprise Communications for Thrivent, to accept Terry's award on her behalf.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here, and thank you all for being here. I know that Terry really wanted to be here. I talked to her last week, and unfortunately, she's out of the country on business, so not able to attend. But we share a lot of the same values and beliefs as Avivo. At Thrivent, we believe that everyone belongs, everyone matters, and everyone deserves to be invested in. We believe that money is a tool, not a goal in and of itself. And so we are very proud to accept this award. I'm proud to be here on behalf of Terry and on behalf of Team Thrivent, so thank you very much.
Okay, we'll try to keep the stage healthy up here. Well, congratulations again to Terry on receiving the Avivo 2022 Celebrated Community Leader Award, and for Thrivent and all that you do to make impact and support an organization as important as Avivo. We're really proud and know that you have earned that accomplishment in so many ways. So it's now my pleasure to introduce you to some of the many people that are empowered by Avivo's great work and services. Let's watch a few videos.
I was born into addiction and stuff like that. My mom tried really hard to raise us a little different, but she was an alcoholic.
I actually committed and did a associate's degree in the culinary arts. As I was graduating, that's when the addiction stuff really started interfering with my life.
It is in the dead of COVID, and I'm out there still trying to get high. It got worse and worse. I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop.
I was literally in the tent encampment that was across the street right here. I'm very faith-driven, and I just was praying to God one day, like, just, you know, take me out of this trouble that I'm getting into.
Ended up becoming homeless for about a month, lived in my car and at a friend's basement.
I was a totally different person, you know. Now I know what I have to do now, and I have to keep me safe and my daughter safe.
April 6th of 2019, I got arrested. I had the option of different places to go, and I was like, oh, I want to go to Avivo. Without Avivo, I'd have been stuck. I would have been in trouble.
I got to a point where I hadn't had a job for 10 years. I was struggling even getting interviews.
I started looking for some places, and then that's how I found Avivo.
So I came and they got me my first apartment. The treatment center itself is amazing. Like the program that you go through, they teach you a lot of skills and things to do.
I'd always been interested in technology and computers. They connected me up with the training for the type of career I was looking to have going forward.
I believe the housing through Avivo is very important for somebody's recovery. If I was on the street and didn't have that housing piece, I wouldn't have did it. I would probably still be out there.
I went from dealing drugs to going out and doing ministry now. Being able to just move into this nice apartment, from tent encampments to a little efficiency, but now I have a huge 1-bedroom.
The combination of getting help, making those next steps, and being able to do that in a safe, supportive space was overall and all around very helpful. Through working with them, that's how I was able to find the current job that I do have.
Now I really want to concentrate. Now that I got myself back, I feel like, okay, I can do this, I can take on this. I want to open up my own family peer navigation program. I'll be working with, you know, people who are living with HIV.
When I think about the future, I'm definitely going to be doing evangelism. I'm going to be continuously doing the outreach that I do. I'm going to go out into more encampments. My heart is for going into the deep trenches.
I'm able to invest in my future a lot more, and I can invest some of that time and money into the people around me that I care about.
The T-shirt today, I could say, is a lot different. I've had every test that you can imagine, and I haven't broke yet.
What a wonderful video. It takes a lot of vulnerability and courage to share your story. And I'm excited to say that we will now hear from one of Avivo's participants that you saw in the video, a graduate of the Avivo Institute of Career and Technical Education, Charley Price. Welcome, Charley.
Thank you, Jeanne. Good morning. When I was in high school, I envisioned having a job and living on my own. What I envisioned for myself didn't quite play out that way. I graduated high school, but became entangled in alcoholism and depression. I eventually hit my lowest. I was caught in addiction, and I became homeless. I attended and graduated from treatment on the third try, and following that, I was living in a halfway house. I watched people come and go. They'd get a job, move out, and then they'd come back a month or a year later with the same issues. It takes serious time to get better, and when you spend your whole life in negative patterns, they set ingrained paths in your brain. I decided I was going to take however much time I needed to become a healthier person. When I started to try to find work on my own, I was not getting hits on jobs I knew I could do. Living with struggling people for so long, it was beginning to feel impossible to move on. My VRS counselor knew Avivo had a computer tech training program. I specifically wanted this. Through the program, I got my CompTIA A+ certification, which is an industry-recognized credential in IT. This is important because its value to an employer is equal to about a year of experience in the field. The second week after graduating, Avivo approached me about being a paid intern and performing IT work for the Avivo Institute, allowing me to also gain actual work experience in the field. As I was continuing to look for permanent work, Avivo connected me with Taylor, a recruiter from TEKsystems. She's also in the audience with us here today. She has been a positive influence and helped prep me for various interviews, including one for the job I have now. I got a contract position as a help desk technician for Maximus. I've been there for 8 months, and 2 days ago, I was converted from a contract to a full-time employee. Thank you. If it wasn't for Avivo, I wouldn't be working where I am now. I didn't think I'd be living on my own so quickly from an entry-level job. However, the job that Taylor helped me secure was $5 more an hour than anything else I was finding or expecting to get at that starting point. Avivo is able to take your hand at any point with homelessness, addiction, training. With counselors involved in all of these areas, it's a combination of resources. When you invest in someone who is looking to get into a better place in life, you start a chain of events for them and everyone around them. When you give someone an opportunity, it's like you're helping the entire community. I'm not sure what I'll be doing in 5 years, but now I have a career to grow into. Today I get to go to work at a job that I love. I'm able to spend time and be sober around the people who care about me, and I'm able to give back to them. Thank you.
That literally almost brought tears to my eyes to hear your story, Charley. Thank you for just allowing me to be a part of your journey. I'm super proud of him and just celebrating Charley and people like him. And also, I just wanted to step up here to give an employer perspective of Avivo's impact. My name's Taylor Dixon. Should have started with that. I'm an IT recruiter for an IT staffing and services company called TEKsystems. We staff hundreds of thousands of companies across the world, and here in Minnesota, we staff about 250 companies' IT positions. I'm also a part of Avivo's Business Partner Council. I represent just one of over 100 Twin Cities businesses who partner with Avivo Institute in different volunteer and hiring capacities. As you heard, I had the pleasure working with Charley. And when I met Charley back in January or so of this year, I knew right away that he was determined to get into the IT field, hence why he was going for his certifications. He was communicative. He was just an outstanding individual, hard worker. Pretty much every trait an employer wants to see in an employee, he nailed right on the head. I had a pleasure working with him. I also knew that, of course, Charley was going to represent himself well, myself well, TEKsystems well, Avivo well, and really any company he worked for exceptionally well moving forward. I'm so proud of Charley. Within the 9 months, as you heard, of knowing him, he's went from an Avivo IT student in their IT certification program called the A+, to an Avivo IT intern, to a help desk analyst contractor for TEKsystems out at a company called Maximus, as you mentioned, and now a permanent employee for them. To see this kind of growth over a 9-month span just paints you a picture of the type of worker that Charley really is. It's so incredibly important for these students to get a chance to work in their field of study and interest. Avivo students find paths to these careers, and employers get to discover a diverse talent pool and hard workers at that. With Charley, I've placed over 20 people out of the IT certification program through Avivo, and I hope to continue to place more and more and more, as long as you'll have me, that's for sure. It is so incredibly rewarding to connect with these students one-on-one, get to know them from both a personal and career perspective, learn about their aspirations in their career, and then get to see them live those aspirations out that, again, they might not have had the chance to do so without Avivo's programs. So I'm going to continue to partner with Avivo and their IT students and employers, helping them pair Avivo students with career opportunities and employers with talented workers. Thank you for choosing to be here this morning. My hope is that you will also decide to make a donation to support people like Charley to live well and work well. I'm always extremely excited and hopeful to see where students like Charley land in the IT field. I know that they are going places that are not only going to better themselves, but also better the companies that they work for and the communities around them. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Charley and Taylor. I think this is such a great example of what we just heard of why it's so important to give to Avivo. And it's really a lot about their unique approach of how they serve individuals, how they pair housing, recovery, education, employment services, how they all pull that together to find pathways for success for individuals in our communities who really need it and really have an opportunity for economic advancement. During the pandemic, what I think was especially really just so amazing about Avivo is the innovative work they continue to do and to actually increase their services and support during that time. Personally, I always think about giving to Avivo as a great return on investment. It's a great investment. And because what we heard earlier is the statistics really prove that. The amount of people that work that Avivo does, the number of services, the people that they can reach is, again, all about helping our communities thrive. And it's really making sure that everyone has a chance to succeed. And I believe that each one of us as businesses or as individuals can really help make a difference in that regard. So, as Taylor just set me up so nicely, I invite you to make a gift to Avivo. A meaningful donation really does compel Avivo to take those dollars and make the most difference that they can. And I won't run through all of this, but you all know there's various different levels of gifts that really drive an abundance of work. $5,000 can provide scholarships, $2,500 can provide housing, $1,000 supports outreach for a week of work, $250 can provide professional outfits for interviews, and it goes on and on and on. But whatever amount that you give today, please know that it will be put to good use and really be impactful in the lives of so many people. And it's really easy for you to give today. You can take out your mobile phone and scan the QR code on the screens or on the back of your program. If you prefer, you can use the envelopes that where you can make a donation. And what I'd like to do right now is just give you a few minutes to take some time to make a thoughtful gift to Avivo. And again, however you donate, please know how much we generate your generosity. We'll close it up in just a few minutes, but we'll give you a little bit of time to take a look at those materials to create a donation. Thank you.
Thank you all so very much for your generous donations this morning. Thank you to Jeanne, Crain, and all of the steering committee, and especially Bremer Bank for being our presenting diamond sponsor. Thank you also to our gold and silver and bronze sponsors listed on the screen and in the program. You started this morning on the right foot, and we sincerely thank you.
Well, I'm really just glad to be here, Kelly, and to support this organization. Our organization is proud to do the same, and I again extend my thanks to all who are the contributors and sponsors of today's event. This is critical work that we're all doing and supporting, and there's just so many people that it takes to make it happen year in and year out. So thank you all again for being here and for all that you're doing to support this amazing organization.